said I'd do some regular updates on how I'm getting on with this area. As you can see from the last video I did, or the last film, I've come on a little bit. It's taken about 3 hours, I would say, to complete this bit. So what I've done at the moment, these slabs, they're York stone, so they're going to just be levelled off. At the moment, they're not. They're on a slope. You can't make it out from this film, but these are on a real slope. But what I'm going to do is drop them down about 6 inches and level them all up. They're going to sort of be a part of what's going on behind them. Now, although it's two different types of material, and I know the designers out there would say, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that." You know, you do what pleases you, don't you? And this is what pleases me. So I've created this kind of rocky outcrop, really. And the main thing in it was always going to be this Pinus mugo. It's still in its pot. It's yet to be planted. I shall do that as and when I get to it. Spent 3 hours doing this. I know it's done look like I've done a lot of work for 3 hours, but as people who've done this sort of thing themselves, they'll know it's really, really hard work. So this is the progress I've made. The idea here is, like I said, it's like a little rocky outcrop, and it's just a little bit of I don't know what I'd call this, a little bit of set dressing, I guess, in this area. And I think it looks quite nice. I like it. It's taken some time. I've shifted a lot of rock. I mean, there's not many here, but I've shifted it each piece about 3 times generally, just to get it right, because there's lots of things that you've got to get right. And I might come back tomorrow and rip the whole thing up and start again, but hopefully not. I'm quite happy with that. That's doing it for me. Now, the idea of these slabs is it's just for the area, really, I guess. I don't think it's really... I should say it's not needed, but I did want it to be like a flattened out area to complement what's going on behind, because there's going to be lots of gravel put down here as we go along. It's all going to be filling all this area that you can see that's soil. It's all going to be gravelled. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just prepping for all this. There's no point in putting any hardcore down or any gravel down until we've got this area done and finished, and I'm happy with what I've got going on, which so far I am. I'm quite happy what I'm seeing. There's still things I've got to move around. I'll do some twiddling. I'll look upstairs and I'll see what it looks like from up there. But as a result of what I'm doing, I moved this Taxus Bacarta Davidii. This is the English yew that I cloud pruned when I first got it. It's doing really well. And I planted it the other day, and then I went upstairs and had a look. And I thought, I don't think that's right. So, typical of me, it's got to be moved. That's the tree I moved on Christmas Day. Actually moved it from over at the arch there, over to here. And now I've decided, not right place, we'll move it again. So where the yellow little stick there is, that's where I'm going to go and put it. I've decided not to do it today. I was going to do it today, but I've decided not to, because I want to go back upstairs and just check it out, make sure, because I've only put that stick there in the last 20 minutes, and I just want to check it out. So that's what I've done, and I'm quite pleased with it. So let's go from a different angle and see how it looks, you see. So you get all these ideas that you've got to instigate into your garden. You should never be afraid to do it. Now, I know I've got a red bricked house here, and I'm putting, sandstone and all that kind of thing in front of it, which a designer would never do. But, I don't want to be a designer, although I suppose by default I am. I just want to do what looks good, and this looks good, whether it's next to the house or not. So I'm quite happy with that. There's bits and bobs in this border here that's got to be moved to complement. That's already written down in my plans. And as I've said before, these plans tend to go awry. But I've got to move 1 or 2 bits because they just won't work long term in here. Now the Pinus mugo, although I've already given it a bit of a prune up, it's not good enough yet. It's not to where I want it, because I want to be able to see through to the rocks behind it. So there's quite a bit of work to do. Has it made a start on its growth yet? What it does is it grows from here, this section here, and that's called candling. When you come to trim them back, these little bits here will get taller and they'll candle. Now, Pinus mugo a bit of a run one really, because it can be quite a thick shrub as opposed to the black pines, which can be a little bit more open branch, which probably work better for, say, bonsai. They'll work better for that. Whereas Pinus mugo tends to be a little bit more rampant and shrub out a lot more. But that's not going to be a problem, because I should go in there and I shall nip out loads more branches. That won't be done until I've taken it out of this pot and got it planted. And then I'm going to spend probably an hour trimming that up, and hopefully that'll look good. I'll just introduce you to Bob. Everything's got a name in this garden. This is something I bought at Hampton Court Palace Flower Show years ago, and I absolutely love it. It's done by a stonemason, and I sort of like waited till the last 10-20 minutes of the show, and then made the chap an offer what I had in my pocket, which was basically 90 quid. And at the time, about 10-15 years ago, I think it was up for about 130 quid. But he took my money because his wife made him. She said, "Who are you going to sell it to? Sell it, we're off soon." So, yeah. So I bought it, and I've had it ever since, and it's now starting to get this lovely mossy appearance on it, which I like. So this is going to work in the gravel area. See behind the back of it, look, more moss, close up of him. I love it. I'm not quite sure what it's supposed to be, but I just like it, and it'll work in this area. So I'll just do a final zoom round to what I've been working at today, and I'll say my goodbyes now. I've got to go in, I'm freezing cold. And I'll give you another progress report once I've done more to this area. Thanks for following me, and if you haven't already done so, it'd be great if you could join me on YouTube, and that would be great. It don't cost anything to subscribe, just press the button, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Ta-ra.